Hey queen.
This isn't therapy. This is not therapy. This is not therapy. This is not therapy. This isn't therapy.
Hello, hi, and welcome back to another fun,
flirty,
fabulous
episode
of This Isn't Therapy. The podcast about all the stuff people are talking to their therapists about.
Correct.
My name is Jake Ernst, and I am a therapist. Who are you?
My name is Simon Palick, and I am not a therapist. However, between the two of us, we're just two gal pals who like to put on these grubby little paws each week, peel back the therapy curtain, reach into the therapy room, pull out a factoid, a question, a query, a quandary, something that is just floating around in the culture, and then have a casual Kelly Couch conversation about it. Why?
Well, it's because therapy themes are everywhere you look. And we say that every single week.
We do.
Here on this podcast.
Yes.
And so, like Simon said, we are just reaching into that therapy room, right? And where are we reaching in today? Where are we going?
Well, speaking of speaking, today's lovely episode that we have today, we have two topics.
Okay.
As we often do.
I love this for us.
We're going to be talking about the drama triangle.
Yeah.
And then we're also going to be talking about bedrotting. Both of these things, I can't wait to see how we connect these.
I know. I can't wait to see how this turns out.
Yeah.
And I have to say, like, this past week, I think, has been like very exciting because I feel like internet culture is culturing again. There's just so many of these words like bed rotting and drama triangle is making its rounds on the internet.
Wow.
And anyway, we're going to get to it. We're going to get into it.
We're going to get into all of it.
Yeah.
All right. Should we just go into it?
I think we should swoosh.
Okay.
We should.
All right.
Swooshy, swooshy.
Oh, that was the best swoosh yet.
Wooshy, swooshy.
Okay.
Listen.
So segment one, we're going to talk about the drama triangle. And to access this conversation about the drama triangle, one thing that we love to do is we love to hear from the lovely listeners. So we have this lovely listener story.
Finally.
Come
on.
So we're going to access today's conversation via the prism of this lovely listener story. I've taken out all the details, so it's just very general.
So it's just nouns.
I'm actually
and
just
verbs.
looking at a blank screen right now, so I'm just going to ad-lib it.
I've removed all details.
Yeah. I've removed all details.
Just really vague concepts will be heard.
And it's very short. No. So thank you so much, lovely listener, for submitting your story. We really appreciate it.
And if you want to submit, what you can do is go to our DMs and say, I have a story.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you a story, and then we're going to do it on the pod.
Yeah. And then we'll ask you, can we put this on the pod?
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, you can say yay or nay.
That's what we're doing here.
So find us wherever you are online. We are there.
Great.
Yeah. So the lovely listener story goes like this. Hi, love the pod. I wanted to share a story about my mom and me. For context, my mom left my dad when I was in high school. TLDR, he was an a-hole, cheated on her. I didn't really see him. Anyways, my mom did the most during those years, keeping things going for my sister and I, and I'm so grateful for her strength. But now, over 10 years later, I feel like my mom is still playing out the same script every time I talk to her. Her greatest hit, you have no idea how hard it is for me. And I often feel so bad that I cancel plans to just sit and listen to her replay the same heartbreak about my sister or her friend or my dad. But then some days she likes to lead with, you never call. Or, well, I guess you're just too busy to call me. And I know she's hurting, but it just makes me feel really bad. When I try to set some boundaries or try to stay calm, she says, you sound so different. Or, why are you acting like this? And I crumble. I feel stuck in a pattern and I don't know how to get out of it.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a pattern, all right. That is surely a pattern.
That is surely Shirley Temple, that is a pattern.
And don't call me Shirley.
Do not call me Shirley. What the heck is going on there? What's
Yeah.
the therapy theme in that story, Jakey?
Listen, I mean, upon like first glance, I just want to normalize and say this is so common. This is a story and a theme that comes up a lot in the therapy room, but it makes sense, right? Because I think that anytime people come together, we have natural ways of being in relationship. And I think that conflict is inevitable and a common element of relationships. And so in a system like this, and maybe I should just back up a second. So a system in therapy is a network of relationships. And we use different patterns and strategies when we're a part of a system. And so an example of that might be that if one kid is getting up or getting a lot of attention in a family,
Right.
maybe one child is sucking up a lot of the oxygen, another sibling might also do some really creative strategies, not conscious or not obvious or not intentionally, to get more eyeballs on them.
Right.
And so that's one example of how a system will change and morph based on the dynamics, maybe just between two people, but the whole system is impacted.
Okay.
And so the system and the pattern that we see here in this story can really be well explained by the drama triangle.
The drama triangle.
Yes.
Coming to HBO Max.
Yes, the drama triangle. Here we are, directed by Simon.
Directed by Simon. Coming to HBO Max.
That's it. So
Manifesting.
the drama triangle really points us in the direction of helping us understand how people solve conflict.
Right.
And the theory goes is that we assume different roles when we are part of a conflict heavy situation. And so have you ever heard of HCPs before?
Say it again.
HCPs.
Oh, there's a vaccine for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. HCPs or
Yeah.
high conflict people.
Yeah.
There may be a prescription for you. So high conflict people are people who might also gravitate to high conflict as a way of either soothing tension or stress inside of them. They may also gravitate towards conflict as it's the only strategy or pattern that they know or been exposed to. So people who are high conflict people might also come into this drama triangle as well. So I just want to keep that in mind.
Okay.
We don't know this, lovely listener, so we don't really know kind of what personality structures or what kind of
Right.
people the lovely listener is surrounding.
Because it's anonymous.
Yeah, we just don't know.
But for the context of the story, what is the drama triangle? I'm
Okay.
assuming there's 3 points to it, right?
Yes. So the drama triangle is there are 3 different roles that we assume when we are in a conflict or dramatic situation.
Okay.
And so when there's a lot of chaos in the system, that might cause us to default to a blueprint that we know.
Right.
And so this could be intergenerational. So it could be the only blueprint that, for example, we've been handed,
Right.
or the way that we are parented, for example, might cause us to default to certain patterns. Or maybe we have developed creative strategies like in childhood. And so those can also emerge this way too. And so there are 3 kind of roles that we fall into, and they are the victim, the rescuer, and the perpetrator, the persecutor, sorry. And so victim,
Wait,
rescuer,
isn't that the same thing? Persecutor, perpetrator?
victim, rescuer,
Yeah.
persecutor.
Persecutor.
I just want to get the language right.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think those are synonyms. The
was like,
dictionary
wait.
would say
Yeah,
those are
yeah.
synonyms.
They're synonyms. Yeah.
I just mean based on this person's model.
Right.
And let me just get his name right. It is Karpman.
Yeah, the Cartman drama
Cartman
triangle.
drama triangle. Yeah. So Cartman has put together the structure essentially to lay out the different patterns that we fall into. And so the victim is the person that's essentially like, poor me. The world is happening to me and things are happening to me. And so I'm in this scenario where I am being victimized or I am being hurt.
Right.
And so if you are a longtime love listener, you know that we have also covered different forms of narcissism, such as vulnerable narcissism. And so that can also play into the victim mentality here. But essentially what can happen is for vulnerable narcissists, so people who are more likely to see themselves as being hurt and victimized often or all the time, this role is a bit different than that. So this sort of explains just the role that people can fall into, which is that I'm being hurt and I'm being victimized. So we tend to see ourselves in a position of powerlessness, not being able to affect change, not being able to do anything about our situation. And so it invites people to save us or protect us or to care for us in moments where we actually don't need excess caring or excess support.
Ooh, so this is leading to the other point in the triangle,
Exactly.
which
So
is the rescuer.
the rescuer. That's the person.
okay.
That's the person who, in a situation like this, may feel compelled to step in and rescue and fix and solve, and in essence, help or rescue. And so, in therapy, this is a really important skill that therapists also utilize, which is that we resist the righting reflex. It's called this urge to step in and solve it and fix it.
Right.
And so we as therapists are trained to not be the rescuer. So when there's distress in front of us, or maybe there's uncomfortable emotion, maybe emotions even that trigger our own, we are trained and taught how to not step into this rescue role.
Okay.
Because it can also just perpetuate this same triangle
Right.
or unhealthy cycles outside of it.
Oh my God.
And so let's just go back. There's the victim, the one who sort of says, I'm hurt.
yeah.
Then there's the rescuer that comes in and says, oh my gosh, you're hurt.
Yeah.
I need to step in and help you. And then there's also the persecutor.
Perpetrator, persecutor.
The perpetrator comes in.
whatever. Yeah.
That person triangulates with the other two. And essentially, this is why it's called triangulation. Triangulation is when a third person gets involved. So at any point in the triangle, you can be triangulated, right? And so we can talk about that in just a moment. But essentially, the perpetrator, the persecutor, is the person who is the one who assigns blame,
Right.
and sort of like either slings mud or their stuff just spills out into the world through them, and they're not really accountable to the way
Right.
that that happens. And so they essentially draw other people into their persecution.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can see in that dynamic, it's very clear cut. So if you're objectively,
Yeah.
what's the word?
Objectively.
Objectively, persecutor,
Yeah.
perpetrator. If you are watching this dynamic happen and you're not on the triangle, could you say that the victim actually is the victim? The rescuer is actually the rescuer and the perpetrator is actually the perpetrator? Or is this just like a role that's been casted in this dynamic?
Oh, I'm
not to be like, I'm not trying to be like,
I
or is
love-
this like a gaslight girl boss situation where it's like, you're not actually the victim here. You're
I
just
love
like
that
casting
question.
yourself as one.
I think it's a both and.
Is it a both and?
I think sometimes, yeah, we cast ourselves in roles that we are never in the running for.
Right.
And we also cast ourselves in roles where it's accurate and we should play that role. Right. So when I'm thinking about this scenario with the lovely listener,
Yeah.
I do see that there is some evidence that someone like a mom in this dynamic might be the mudslinger, might be the one who's sort of saying, you always do that. You always.
Yeah.
And so they could be in a persecutory role.
Yeah.
Where they're perpetrating or persecuting other people. Tip of the tongue, teeth of the
Yeah.
lips.
Red leather, yellow leather.
Unique New York.
Unique,
Hi, Brett.
a big blue bucket of blue berries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it may be a scenario where they're the persecutor. And I also see, if we flip it a bit, I also see where a mom in this scenario is also putting themselves in a victim role, right? Where they sort of see or suggesting that the world is happening to them and bad things are happening to them.
Right.
So in this dynamic, it might actually be that the mom is playing or casting themselves as the victim and then casting the daughter as the persecutor. And so
Yeah.
saying, you never call me, so you are hurting me.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's a dynamic where it's an unhealthy pattern of relating. That's
Yeah.
not effective communication.
Yeah.
And so if a person in this scenario is feeling a certain way, that's different than when you bring other people into the drama triangle and cast other people as the persecutor who's hurting me. And again, it does force other people to cast themselves or sign up for roles they never sign up for.
Right.
As perhaps the rescuer.
I can also see the self-fulfilling prophecy of it all, right? Like if I'm always going to be the victim, then that means that you are either going to be my perpetrator, persecutor, or my rescuer.
And
I'm
so-
going to have to make you these things.
Yes.
So therefore you're going to start being these things. I see like that where people pleasing could also kind of like fit into this, right? Like people who have a propensity for people pleasing.
PPPPP.
PPPP.
You're right. I think that part of what can play out here is that
Play out.
we only have, sometimes we only have one script, right? So we don't know like that there are other creative solutions here, or that there are other ways of responding or reacting that are maybe more emotionally mature or adult-like. But this tends to happen where we get handed these scripts and we're sort of told to read our parts, and then we get into adulthood and we're like, wait, why am I reading from this script that was like childhood years old?
Yeah.
I don't understand like why I'm constantly having to show up for my mom in this case as a rescuer, or I don't know why I'm constantly being cast as a persecutor when I never chose that. I never intended to do that. And I certainly don't mean any harm or ill will towards someone who feels a certain type of way about my behavior.
Yeah. So sort of like wrap this section up. What would you, using the context of our lovely listener story, what is, now that we know this, now what is the job if I'm having a conversation with my mom? Because we don't want to don't ever talk to her again, cancel her, whatever. We don't want to do that. We still want to have a relationship with this person. So then how do I engage with someone who keeps casting me on this role, who time and time again keeps putting the dynamic on this drama triangle? Like, how can I get off of it? Or is that the goal?
In relationships that are emotionally mature, you're allowed to be yourself. And people give you the freedom to be who you are.
Okay, but what if you're not?
Which means that people sometimes cast us into these roles, but we don't have to accept and take the part. So sometimes that means ripping up the script and saying, I'm actually not in this play.
Yeah.
I'm in the audience and I'm watching it and I don't like it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to unsubscribe from this dynamic and I'm going to hop out of here. So that means, yes, hopping off the triangle like you're suggesting. And sometimes there are more effective ways of being in the triangle, because sometimes we can't actually just hop off so easily. Sometimes we do have to play our role and also maybe switch up the way that we handle that role, right? So for example, when we have persecution that's happening to us, we can also be assertive rather than just ghost someone or abandon people or, completely disregard people that are clearly, engaging with us in a certain way. So there are healthier ways to manage the role that sometimes we get casted into. So the really healthy way to manage being persecuted is to be assertive, to set boundaries and to say, I didn't say that. That's not what I meant to do. I understand that you're feeling frustrated and I think that we can work through this. So there are ways that we can reassign the role or just cast ourselves in a new role, one that maybe has a more emotionally mature angle to it. The helper role, right? We can observe, but not interact. We don't have to intervene. We don't have to get involved in everyone's stuff all the time. And it doesn't make us bad people when we are observing the interaction, observing dynamics, rather than participating in them. And so that would be an example where you do step back, right? Where you say, this person needs my help, but it doesn't make me a bad person if I'm not going to answer their phone call every single time. And in the victim role, I think that this is also one of the harder ones to peel away from. If this is you, or if this is your pattern that you replicate, it's hard to see the world differently. And so the work of the victim is the person where you have to be able to broaden your lens and see the nuance in situations that are not always black and white. It is really an easy answer. And so the work of therapy and why it's effective and good therapy is because we help people see the nuance in situations that seem black and white when you're in the triangle that are not black and white when you're outside of it. And so when you're off of the triangle, you can see it more objectively. And I think the reason why people maybe respond well to this dynamic or why they replicate the same dynamic over and over again is because it gives people an easy answer to say, you hurt me, rather than looking at it from a more dynamic or patterned perspective. And so it's really an easy answer to say, I'm the victim here, or you are hurting me. You are persecuting me. And it's also really easy as a helper, as a fixer, to step in and say, I see a problem, and so I'm going to help. And so I'm going to step in. But that can also be smothering. It can also be infantilizing. It can also not enable people to grow up or action their own outcomes by themselves. And so sometimes doing for is not actually effective helping. And so that's why, again, why in therapy, we don't do for other people. We don't solve people's problems and give them advice and answers the whole way through. We help people come to these conclusions on their own so they can see themselves and their dynamics objectively. So they can be empowered to step off of the triangle themselves.
Is it effective in the case of our story? It seems like our lovely listeners seems to always be cast in the rescuer or the perpetrator role, whether or not they actually are these things. I don't know. According to the mother, they are, right? Is it helpful to name it? and to say it, to sort of be like, hey mom, like you're like you're acting a lot of like poor me right now. Like I'll talk to you later. Like, is that helpful?
I think sometimes
it?
it's not so black and white, I don't
Yeah.
think, but
Okay.
I certainly would caution people against naming it with psychology terms and using this I would never show.
You're being a perpetrator
Yeah,
right now.
exactly.
Yeah.
I would never really use this as a gotcha. I would never really use this as I see what's happening here and I have some literature to prove it. And so take a look.
You're not building a case against.
Yeah,
these people.
I think this is really good for education and good for awareness building so that people can understand their own roles in these dynamics or to see how they might make some changes themselves. And for the most part, I would say using plain language is usually the most effective.
Right.
And that really is also what good therapy also is about too, is equipping people with plain language and human language, not psychology language, as a way to help them create the change that they want in their relationships. So yes, I do think that labeling and naming things is important and helpful. In a fixer role, it might be something like, I've noticed that you rely on me a lot, that you need me often, even when I'm not available.
Yeah.
I'm not always going to be available. I'm not always available.
Yeah.
I think we need to talk about other solutions for you to get those needs met or get the support you need.
Yeah.
Without me being the one who steps in or the only one who's available. That's not working for me.
Yeah.
And I've just as like a tool for all the lovely listeners, I think that is such an empowering statement. The last one I just said, you know what? That doesn't work for me. I think it's a boundary. It's a standard. And it also sets really clear intentions around what you endorse and what you don't endorse, whether it's how you're being treated or how people are saying it to you. This is great for parents and kids when they're fighting through like attitude and, all the teenage kind of stuff. It's great for relationships. Something as simple as, you know what, that doesn't work for me. I think also hopefully it invites dialogue rather than conflict.
I can see how quickly that can become a weapon.
And it's also the hardest thing to say with compassion and kindness without attacking or without blaming or without insulting.
Yeah, or bullying people with boundaries either.
Yeah, without or using like an aggressive attitude about it, right? I think it's something that I've used a lot in my life, and I think it's a good tool just to put in your back pocket.
Yeah.
I think it's easy to say, it's short. Sometimes when we don't know what to say, that can also be really tough. So having like just a set of little scripts to kind of default to is helpful. And I find, you know what, that doesn't work for me is one that I use.
I like that. You know what does work for me?
What?
A segue.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, take us there.
So why don't we just like
Come on,
mosey
King.
on over to our second
Yeah.
segment, because I think you did a fantastic job giving us some insight and intel into what was going on with that lovely listener story.
Thanks, Queen.
Yeah.
Love it.
So let's do that.
Okay, we'll see you there.
Okay. Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
That does work for me.
Holy whoosh.
Can I tell you a funny story?
Of course.
So I'm not going to reveal their personal information because
Why? I think you should.
Well, I didn't ask their permission to do so.
Okay.
So I have a friend who has a daughter.
Do I know who this friend is?
And no.
Okay.
So the,
oh, wait, you said a daughter and I was like, no.
the daughter. So the daughter is, I think she's 9 years old, and she and her mom are texting back and forth. And so the daughter has one of those like phones that is not a smartphone, but they use it to like call and communicate.
Oh, I know
Kinda
what
like,
you're talking about. Yeah.
Kind of like pick up and drop off. And so it's funny being me in the work that I do. And my friend is telling me the story. And so the mom says, you'll never guess what my daughter texted me today. And I said, what? And she said, she texted me, hey, Queen, can Jessica come over after school? And me, being me, I found that absolutely fabulous.
Like, that's iconic.
I thought that was fabulous work
Yeah.
on the part of the 9-year-old.
yeah. Fantastic. Absolutely, Jessica can come.
And the mom-
Do you want to bring Tiffany too as well?
And the mom was like, where did she learn that? And I
Hey,
was like,
Queen.
she must be hanging out with a few gay men.
Yeah.
I don't know, but.
I can't tell you.
And so now,
Our reach is far.
now, every time I greet my friend,
Yeah.
text or in person.
Hey, queen.
Hey, queen. It's hey, queen.
She's like, stop it. You're part of the problem.
Yeah, exactly. And
love
she was
that.
like, a 9-year-old should not be talking like that. And I was like, why not? I was like, why not? It's cute. It's funny.
We're trying things on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think she was just kind of like, she thought it was like a bit too informal for a mother-daughter relationship.
Oh, interesting.
In any case, I thought it was hilarious.
That is funny.
Hilarious. Anyway,
I like that.
So we're about to
Hey,
get
queen. Okay,
Hey,
speaking of bed rotting.
speaking of speaking, we're about to get into our next segment where we are going to talk about this phenomenon that has taken TikTok by storm. I would say over the past few years, especially like pandemic and beyond,
Yeah.
this concept of bed rotting has become such a therapy theme that I feel like I've been doing like working overtime. I should be getting paid.
About bed rotting?
Yeah, just to push back against a lot of the misconceptions and the misnomers about this thing.
Is it what I think it is?
Well, let's start with the definition. What do you think it is?
When you just sit in bed all day and like scroll on your phone.
Yeah. I
Is it
think,
that?
Yeah, I think that's a really like plain definition. It's one of those.
Hey, queen.
Hey, queen.
Yeah, it's a very plain
it's a really
basic. Yeah, like if you were stupid, I would say that.
Yeah, you would say that.
Yeah, you would say that, dummy. Oh my God. It's so nice being in friendship with you.
Yeah, that's not what I said.
Oh my God. The project of being human is so messy.
Wait, have you seen those T-shirts by it's a group of like autistic creators on TikTok, and they have these T-shirts that say that's not what I said.
No.
And so like because like they in some of like their communication, right? They can be just sort of like really off the cuff and very like say what's on their mind.
Right.
And because that can be open to misinterpretation and people like reading into the subtext, they have these T-shirts that say that's not what I said. And I think that's amazing.
So I think you need to get one.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Where I'm like, okay, if you want to read the subtext, you can. But like, I'm not responsible for your reaction to my subtext.
Oh my God. I want that. I want that shirt.
That's not what I said.
I want, hey, queen. That's not what I said.
That's not what I said.
Yeah.
When you're like, dummy, I'm like, that's not what I said.
Yeah.
I didn't call you stupid.
Okay.
I called you dumb.
Okay, but it's not about message sent. It's about message received.
It's about nonverbals.
It's
It's about what I thought.
Okay,
you said.
tell us about bed rotting.
Okay. Back to the program. My gosh. So bed rotting is, like you were saying, in very plain English.
As you straighten your tie.
In very plain English.
Yeah.
It's hanging out in bed and maybe overextending your stay in your bedroom. And it is essentially like low hygiene, like maybe adding some junk food, probably some trashy television or media consumption. And the issue that I personally take with it is that many people are calling that self-care. And I want to add a bit of...
Ooh, we've tackled this.
I want
most
to add
recently,
some
and I like
grayscale here because it's not so black and white. Because we also might be forgetting that bed rotting also can align closely with the symptoms of depression. And so when we spend too much time in these like low motivation, low effort, let's even say low mood activities, that might be healthy in small doses. It might be self-care to watch your favorite television program while eating a bag of Doritos.
Or to be still for a bit.
Yeah, of course. To rest and like give yourself permission
Spend a day on the couch.
to slow down and just do that. But the practice of bed rotting, where I see it and do take issue with it, is that we also have normalized for a whole generation that low activity and sedentary behavior is synonymous with self-care. And maybe when I'm saying we're overdoing it, I'm talking about kids who do it like 3 days in a row and don't get out of bed for 3 days in a row. This means that some kids aren't going to school and calling that bed rotting and saying it's self-care. And we see just a lot of kids without their foot on the gas that might be using self-care as a justification for their avoidance of doing what's necessary. Or as maybe an explanation for something that already has an explanation, which is a mental health issue. And so I just wanted to talk about it here because I feel like, yeah, we can say, on a Sunday, I'm going to just bed rot and I'm just going to spend all day in bed. But I just want to remind us that like when we do that over and over, and when that becomes a habit or routine, that is also very quickly can show up as a mental health issue and as a problem, not as a solution, which is self-care. And so self-care should be a solution to something. And when it creates problems that are unintended, that can be rather extreme. And so I just want to, if you're listening to this, I want you just to kind of like reflect to yourself.
Versus what? If you're listening to this versus what? what else are they doing?
Well, let me finish my sentence.
No.
I'm saying if you're listening to this and thinking to yourself, this is about me.
That's so bad. 1,000 apologies. I jumped too quickly.
If you're as opposed to what?
As opposed to what, Jake?
Swimming in it?
Yeah. Dancing all over it? Like what? So stupid.
Eating it?
1,000 apologies. 1,001 apologies.
If you're listening to this and you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's me, I do that. Number one, I just want you to it's really common to personalize these things, right? So when you're listening to something on a podcast, you're kind of like, oh, I do that.
Yeah.
Is that bad? And is Jake saying that I'm doing something that's bad or unhealthy for me? Number one, you know yourself best. So this is the bean soup stuff. If this doesn't apply to you, then you can just hear it and let it pass through and leave the rest. For the parents out there, I think it's important to look at maybe your kids through this lens, that sometimes we call things that are unhealthy self-care. And we talked about that a few weeks ago.
We did.
How with the mushroom mommies.
Yeah.
And how I think that, again, this concept creep has really expanded our definition of what we're calling self-care. And I do think that bedrotting is fitting into that category where we've really lost the plot on what it was, which is, I think it was a really like harmless Gen Z way of describing like, let's just like hang out in bed and like pass the time during the pandemic.
You know what I hear too? I also hear like, maybe it was a form of self-care. To your point, like, we are constantly being fragmented and demanded of in multiple ways and in multiple spaces, digital or real. And that weighs on us, all of us, especially like a younger generation where their brains are still forming.
Totally.
And I could see how that could be overwhelming and how a bedrock could be an act of self-care to just slow down and just like,
Stop it all.
Focus on
shut out the world.
Maybe one thing, escape for a bit.
Yep, absolutely.
But I can see when it kind of becomes this like thing that's part of the culture, like an identity marker. I think, you know what it also reminds me of? When I got really confused and like activated about JOMO, where I was just like, I don't understand. Like we have words for this already.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna not be that person again. Because I learned. No, because we learn and we grow.
Be that girl.
But I'm just like, bedrotting, is that not just like taking a rest? Like, was that not just the goal? Was to just like to slow down and to rest?
Yeah.
And I'm just endlessly fascinated because I don't know the answer to this. Is why do we keep coming up with these like pithy little soundbitey words that sound like other things to explain things that we already have language for or things that we should already do.
Yeah.
But we're like rebranding it to be something that it's not. And then we kind of make an identity out of it.
Totally.
Like that's the piece where I'm like, wait, you're proud that you bed rotted all day? Like, I'm not trying to cast judgment, but I'm like, I'm confused. Like, do you want to be bed rotting?
And it's the interesting thing
I don't know.
To me is that the language always seems to suggest the extreme, like rotting. Yeah. Like rotting as in like
an intense form of decay,
like decaying. Like it does again. I think point to internet culture too, because another term not so far away from it is brain rot.
Yeah,
and what can happen when we just saturate ourselves with too much short form video content, or where we're so chronically online that our brain has just become this like jumble of memes and sound bites and quippy one liners.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that doing anything in excess and in extreme can become unhealthy for us. And I guess I just wanted to bring that here to talk about maybe some nuance that we're missing in this conversation about bread rotting, is that we do try to sometimes minimize the impact of something using language. And so we may be saying bed rotting as this like really extreme thing, when really in practice, like you're saying, no, you had a nap, my love. You took the day off, my guy. this isn't actually something so extreme. Like you're not
Mary.
doing, yeah, like it, because on the flip side, like we're saying, like it also may not be so harmful. But when you code everything as I'm bed rotting, it could just be like, well, hold on, like you actually are doing self care there, and that was called a nap. That was called watching a TV show.
Yeah.
Or that was called binging an entire series on Sunday.
On one day.
On
and
one
sitting
day.
On the couch.
Yep.
After you've had a really busy week and have a really busy week ahead of you.
What I will
Yeah.
say as kind of a wrap up, I do think that if we do need language like bedrotting to give ourselves permission to access a different way of doing things,
Yeah.
like taking a load off when we feel like there's a lot of pressure on us, or where we feel like there's like just this really heavy emphasis on productivity all the time. I also do endorse like taking a break, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that is by no means my point here. I just think that sometimes we miss the plot completely and we miss the opportunity to say, hold on, this also could be a mental health issue when practiced as a habit and a routine. And so I do get a lot of kids coming into my practice with concerns about that. Saying, you know, I'm bed rotting and I'm doing a lot of it. But, you know, it can also be seen as self-care and blah, blah. So they either try to rationalize their way out of the mental health symptom stuff, or they try to rationalize their way into, I should get to take a break, right? Is it okay that I spent all day in bed?
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So I see it going both ways.
Yeah.
Anyway, just some nuance, some gray skill to find, right?
Yeah.
What do you think is the common thread between both of these?
Over today,
Yeah.
between bed rotting and
Yeah.
the drama triangle,
Yeah.
I think sometimes we use old patterns or language, new or old, to cast ourselves in positions or roles that may be helpful sometimes, but when used chronically could be very damaging.
That's my queen. That's my queen right there.
You're
That is
welcome.
my queen, y'all.
You're welcome.
That is my girl. That's my guy. That's my queen.
That's my Mary.
That is
That's my Tiffany.
that is Miss Skinny herself.
See this?
That is Miss Her.
I use this for feeding birds. I just fill it with water.
That's Miss She Her.
We're so stupid.
Yeah, we're so silly. Please don't take any of that last part seriously.
Yeah, none of it.
None of that was serious.
Or was it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap up. Let's go
Yeah.
to our final seggy.
Yeah.
And then let's get out of here.
All right.
Okay.
At the end of every episode, we like to resurface.
That's terrible.
That was such a bad accent.
I hate when people do that.
I don't even know. Oh, okay.
I'm kidding.
Whoa,
I'm
holy. Hold on, Queen.
No, it's like so.
Tell me
annoying
how
when
you
people
really
do
do
that.
feel.
No, I'm kidding. I do accents all
You
the
know
time.
what? That doesn't work for me.
That doesn't work for me.
You know what? No, try again.
You know what? That doesn't work for me.
Try again, actually. That doesn't work for me.
Anyways, at the end of every podcast, what we like to do is
Yeah, as I
sometimes we
was
go we go splunking, we go a little too deep, we get into the weeds. Choose your metaphor.
The woods and the weeds.
The woods and the weeds, the birds and the bees. This is a bit take. And we, while Jake chokes, I'll continue. So we like to resurface and we like to leave on a little bit of levity. So here at the This Isn't Therapy studios, we like therapy, but we also believe that sometimes everyday dilemmas, quandaries, or queries, however big or small, sometimes we don't always have to take things to therapy. Sometimes we just need a good friend to talk things out with. So that's what this segment is. We're working on that. We're working on it.
I don't think we are. I think we've nailed it.
We've nailed
I think
it?
You just messed that up.
I just messed it up.
So without further ado,
Oh, yes. And without further ado,
this is Asking for a Friend.
Cue the music.
The music was cued, the
Oh, that
girls
was
were
beautiful.
called, and the cows are coming home.
And listen, if you do want to submit your question,
Yeah.
query, or quandary or story to Asking for a Friend, it's an ongoing box. You just click the link in the show notes and you submit anonymously for your chance for your Asking for a Friend to be read.
Listen, there are so many questions that fit inside the box. So
Yeah, she's stuffed,
Yeah.
but you know what? Don't let that discourage you from submitting. So why don't you read today's Asking for a Friend?
here it is.
Hmm.
Okay, our lovely listener says, hi. Hi.
You're laughing already.
Our lovely listener says, hi.
Okay.
I don't know if this is the right place for this, and it's not necessarily a cue, but just wondering what you would do. My niece is 10 years old, and she is Hey, queen.
Hey, queen. Yeah, that's spooky. This is not your
Whoa.
friend.
My niece is 10 years old,
Yeah.
and she is obsessed with Starbucks and makeup, both of which are expensive. She's
Yeah.
yes. She's so wonderful and smart, and I just wish she was more interested in like more meaningful things than the typical teenage girl stuff.
Oh.
What do I do?
Oh.
Whoa. Okay, number one. Pull out your phone. You text her, Hey,
Hey,
queen.
Starbs?
Yeah. Starbs again? Really?
Really? And then we'll
You know
pick
what?
up.
That doesn't work for me.
That doesn't work for me.
Wow, we really
Sidebar, have you ever been in the presence of a 10-year-old
Yeah.
ordering a Starbucks?
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
The language,
Yeah.
I didn't even know those things were on the menu.
Can I get the frilly floppy?
Yeah. Floopity doo.
Cold foam.
Yeah. Lactose free
Shaken
macchiato.
up, stirred
Decaf matcha.
over ice.
And I'm like, cool, queen.
And it's like, this is a second language for them.
Yeah.
This is like, I know exactly what to order in exactly 3
How did they
seconds or
learn
less.
that though? Is this a TikTok?
Okay. If we just back up, I do think that my advice right here is this is the current signal, right, for kids these days. What do I mean by that? Well, this is a signal to other kids their age. I have money. I can afford things. I am popular. I'm in on the trends. So yeah, that sugary Starbucks drink or the makeup that's trending on TikTok,
Yeah.
they want it. They want the aesthetic.
But
They
is it
wanna
that
be-
deep? Can I just challenge you for a second? Like, is a 10-year-old really like, well, I need to show that I have money? Is it?
Yeah. What
Is
do you
it?
mean? I don't think it's like I have money.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
it's more like,
I come from money.
no, I think it's more like I have access to resources.
But is that the intention?
Well, I think
Like,
it's
wouldn't it just be like, oh, I like that. It's cute. I want to be part of something?
no. I guess what I'm saying is I think there's a social component to it. It's not just one individual and their
Oh, okay,
interests.
yeah.
I'm saying it's like it's typically trending. They see other people their age with their pink lemonade by James Charles.
Yeah.
And being like, I need that too. I want that too. I want to be seen holding it before school, after school, in class.
Right.
There are a ton of kids in my practice at this moment where we are also helping them hop off of sugar and getting off of the sugary Starbucks drinks. So it's becoming a trend, but it's also becoming a big problem.
Okay, wait. Zoom out.
I'm zoomed.
Take off the therapy hat for a second.
I'm okay.
Take it off.
Yeah, good point.
As a friend.
Yeah.
What would you say?
I
This
would
person.
if I was a parent, I would say,
No, as a friend. Okay, but you can be a friend and a parent.
yeah, well, it's
never
a
mind.
niece.
Okay, 1,000 apologies.
Okay, sorry, do you want me to say if
Can you
I
put
was-
your gun away?
If I was her aunt?
Yeah, I want that. Can you be Gladys?
Yeah, exactly.
Can you be Gladys from Weapons?
Listen, if I was her aunt,
If I was a kooky witchy aunt.
I would say, "Hey, queen."
Yeah.
If I was her aunt, especially if I'm like in charge of her care, I would probably set some boundaries and limits around at 10 years old what you're allowed to have and what you're not allowed to have.
Yeah.
So something like, no, Marie, you're not allowed to wear eyeliner to school. That is against the rules. As a parent, right?
Yeah.
I'm using parent because I feel like parents have more control.
Yeah.
Being an aunt on the outside, that is a much harder spot to be in.
Yeah.
Right? Because now you're also with your siblings, telling them how to parent their kids. And of course, you're supposed to be an adult, a responsible adult for your nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
So if it's something like I'm paying for a snack and we're at Starbucks, I'm like, can I get the sugary drink? I would probably use caution. And sometimes it's a yes and sometimes it's a no. I think that teaching kids about how to hear no and is still healthy and good. When it comes to like the trendiness of it all, the social aspect of it all, we also are seeing kids developing a lot earlier. And so I think that is why that guides me towards like friendship or even with my nieces and nephews. I have no problem saying no. I say no.
You don't get that.
That's how you do it. That's
Oh,
how you say
we're not
it.
the same.
You just say no.
No, we're not the same. I'm very much like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
Well, yeah, because you're the fun one. You're the
I mean, for now,
because you get to be the fun
They're
one.
also babies.
You just get. You also have nieces. I have nephews.
I do.
So maybe that changes
Maybe that
things.
changes it. I don't know.
But
okay, wait for
you're
this
s-
question.
So you're saying
I would
don't worry about it.
No, I would worry about it. But what I would do with this friend, I was talking to you about it. I hear in this question is someone who's like, oh, it's obviously they're into makeup and Starbucks, but what I wish they were also into other things, right? And I hear this thing of like, it's very like conventional for like a teenage girl to be into these things. She's so smart and she's so, all these things. I wish she was also into other things, right? And we don't know who this person is, so I don't know if it's like
more meaningful things than the typical teenage girl stuff.
Yeah, so I can kind of see like maybe that's where like the little problem is. I don't see it as like maybe it's all I want to do is talk about makeup in Starbucks. As a friend, I would say that could be like just, I don't know, like we all get like really obsessed with things.
Yeah,
and that just becomes our thing for a bit. I would say like, you don't have to be the one controversial. You don't have to be the one that says, no, let's not do that. I would say, if you're going to go to Starbucks, can you also go do something else? Like,
I think I'm completely maybe misreading the question then.
Or maybe you're interpreting it one way and I'm interpreting it the other. Maybe you're stupid and I'm smart.
I'm just reading this on like, when I take my like niece shopping, all she wants is Starbucks and makeup,
which is expensive.
And so
but maybe that is the question.
And so for me, I'm like, sometimes it's yes and sometimes it's no.
Yeah.
But you're saying
how to make her interest go beyond those things.
Yes.
Being her whatever, her aunt, uncle, whatever it may be. I would say like, I don't think you need to be the person to say, no, we're not going to go do that. Meet them where they are. If they're excited about those things, be excited with those things, and then tack on something else that's out beyond it. So we're going to go to Starbucks, but then maybe after that, we also like go to the museum or like we go watch a scary movie or something, like just to kind of expand the interest things beyond those two individual things.
Look at us like just popping open this hood. I think what we're saying is that sometimes it's about interests and sometimes it's about like finances and expensive interests, right?
That's interesting that we both interpreted that question differently.
But I think the common denominator is that we both would say, hey, queen.
Hey, queen.
That doesn't work for me.
That doesn't work for me. Your propensity to be a perpetrator does not work for me.
Exactly.
I love that.
Listen. If you like what you heard, please get in touch with us. Please like, comment, subscribe. This is where we are hanging out these days. We're on YouTube.
Yeah. And we are in your ears.
Yeah.
Via,
of course,
wherever you're listening to us. But it does help us when you rate us. Give us a comment, give us a 5 stars, give us all those things. And then find us, wherever online things like an Instagram and a TikTok. We're posting fun little videos there and we'd like to hear from you. So feel free to shoot us a DM.
Yeah, please get in touch. It's so fun.
Yeah.
We love kind of going back and forth and having fun.
Yeah. We'll see you next week.
Yes. Okay.
Will you be here?
See you there.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
This isn't
Should we get merch?
Yeah. Bye, queen.
Bye, queen.
Hi, queen.